The Safavid family was a literate family from its early origin. There are extant Tati and Persian poetry from Shaykh Safi ad-Din Ardabili as well as extant Persian poetry from Shaykh Sadr ad-Din. Most of the extant poetry of Shah Ismail I is in Azerbaijani pen name of Khatai. Mirza, the son of Shah Ismail, as well as some later authors, assert that Ismail composed poems both in Turkish and Persian, but only a few specimens of his Persian verse have survived. A collection of his poems in Azeri were published as a Divan. Shah Tahmasp, who has composed poetry in Persian, was also a painter, while Shah Abbas II was known as a poet, writing Azerbaijani verses. Mirza, the son of Ismail I, was himself a poet and composed his poetry in Persian. He also compiled an anthology of contemporary poetry. Culture within the empire. Shah Abbas I recognized the commercial benefit of promoting the arts. Artisan products provided much of Iran's foreign trade. In this period, handicrafts such as tile making, pottery and textiles developed, and great advances were made in miniature painting, bookbinding, decoration and calligraphy. In the 16th century, carpet weaving evolved from a nomadic and peasant craft to a well-executed industry with specialization of design and manufacturing. Tabriz was the center of this industry. The carpets of Ardabili were commissioned to commemorate the Safavid dynasty. The elegantly Baroque yet famously Polonaise carpets were made in Iran during the 17th century, using traditional forms and materials. Mirza Abbasi, 1565 to 1635, introduced new subjects to Persian painting: semi-nude women, youth, lovers. His painting and calligraphic style influenced Iranian artists for much of the Safavid period, which came to be known as the Isfahan school. Increased contact with distant cultures in the 17th century, especially Europe, provided a boost of inspiration to Iranian artists who adopted modeling, foreshortening, spatial recession, and the medium of oil painting. Shah Abbas II sent Muhammad Zaman to study in Rome. The epic Shahnameh, Book of Kings, a stellar example of manuscript illumination and calligraphy, was made during Shah Tahmasp's reign. This book was written by Ferdowsi in 1000 AD for Sultan Mahmud Ghaznavi. Another manuscript is the Kanz-i-Nizami, executed 1539-43 by Akam Iraq and his school in Isfahan. Isfahan bears the most prominent samples of the Safavid architecture, all constructed in the years after Shah Abbas I permanently moved the capital there in 1598. The Imperial Mosque, Masjid-e-Shah, completed in 1630, the Amal Mosque, Masjid-e-Imami, the Lutful Mosque and the Royal Palace. According to William Cleveland and Martin Bunton, the establishment of Isfahan as the great capital of Persia and the material splendor of the city attracted intellectuals from all corners of the world, which contributed to the city's rich cultural life. The impressive achievements of its 400,000 residents prompted the inhabitants to coin their famous boast: Isfahan is half the world. Poetry stagnated under the Safavids. The great medieval ghazal form languished in over-the-top lyricism. Poetry lacked the royal patronage of other arts and was hemmed in by religious prescriptions. The arguably most renowned historian from this time was Iskandar Beg Munshi. His History of Shah Abbas the Great, written a few years after its subject's death, achieved a nuanced depth of history and character.